We are back again on your favorite podcast, Think Point Podcast. With me today is a very phenomenal journalist in the Gambia, Kexx Sanneh. Mola mi alno ko atuman nukum back, banko kang, for the past 10 years. Kada ko ka back niata ka banko mul ke inform. Ulan ke kibari ka kibaro janjang banko kanin banko bandala. Awana do the back. Mul jima balara suti o do ko kono kendek. But jani wo mba Kexx bulala anin na jibe la ni lama la ni konto jani mba na bi program on yin kono. It's going to be a very interesting program, and ni ba follow on Facebook la is a program on is a like or share ni ba YouTube fana sanden thing is a subscribe, yeah, comment, yeah, share, so that it's going to motivate us to come and fana na tenu na jay atal mi anoko wado I'll come follow nala jibe ron ten del terra jam pour ka jako kanana ka wato jani ka kacha nimba gudi wala kacha docteur ban jonna nyaar demande pour ka jaka in kacha ni ka samba with Kexx Sanneh ba jani wodum ba Kexx bulala ani jibe la ni no nyaar ñoo konto banko kan woni banko ban Kexx bismillah.
Baraka bake kontanta bake pour kanana platform do ke hako go ni bana rol kedal ni komando num pour kanana mbodo alamal la ñini ngala ko bila keda Falkafu, alhamdulillah, we appreciate it. At least a dissemination of information online. I found out that prominent people on the platform. To talk about issues, na banko nyako. Fana content da purka bulo mur kon melalam ko invite na platform ko kala la man dal ko kon ko na da dila banko pachale ale to mal do mel longo la men sude ne ba se ala nyola woni mistake ko kada je mun dalla hadama di yalde ne men fana foje ay mo na fare ke salon ko mo ala sorol di an den content da ba ko kana platform
Abarga bake Kexx Sanneh nga o kumara bake Kexx jeni modern na program ko no dal jababal bi jamial nako ni interact in the past tamida ko do la common demande dal keda mo limi nako ila ko nyabo bake from the core lamo when it comes to grassroots mobilization, civic education, advocacy and whatnot. But face a mold yaman no bake kabrin to mo menede karamo ni bang wadi jamala yaja ko God has given me the voice even though I'm from provincial Gambia, but I have to speak for the people in the provincial Gambia and in Molmi and Wallaba Gambia Kibambo kam. What the Jamala Ning passion in Bundia? For Kabin school days Lambang is cited on Purga Kibar Janyo Kani. Take us through your journey to citizen journalism.
Tunyale kafuko content da ba ko nyinen karo nina ndel goda originally from Nyamina le CRR but now ndel na dindi yalde ko kama nyambaile. That's where I'm born, but na pulula goda Nyamina le originally. I'm from grade 6 in Jamis. I moved to Nyamina where I did my grade 7 to 9 in Tampungu, junior secondary school, or the basic secondary school, from there to Amity Senior Secondary School. So actually now journalism started after graduating from school, and it was not more of even having a passion for the job. It was never my intention actually to be a journalist, but circumstances forced me to Pulnakadi. Kamunda nyadile niya kala munda kadun coalition 2016 victory. Me I don't want to baby what we all play our quota to make sure that we remove the former regime here. So kabogara wado mena ndefana nada ke modi nampa leader so little manata minister pala so ta ida dibide bumole. So then kati dan nan dibide bumodo je ka CJ kalong men ka fo dibide bumodo. So kono je kata siri je maje ko kumole ka fo je melana ko kumaya bata banko mo nyanda ka moyle. So I start writing, I start streaming live for the first time. I think I was the fourth person Melongo stream parliamentary live for Gambia that is something Melongo. At least I was among the first people and among the first person. I believe I was the first person. So, but Manda when ministers come before the parliament, they put on a dual international agreement for ratification. So approval of the parliament. Their interest is to melanco banco sula da procalum, banco di panalum sula da procalum, memo son stata casafero keoto. So out of that safero in Korea feel it like Anka Mel Savina World, they were very, very interesting, and sometimes it the reporters will so let me be reporting on some of the parliamentary cases so I start to report for 4 years on a contract base. So that's where I developed the passion then public fana then get to appreciate what I'm doing. Every time we really appreciate you are bringing the parliament to the doorstep of the Gambian people. So people now get to have interest so if you are doing school kendo molia appreciate, then it's an obligation on you to continue it. So continue the world for Yakumbala case not with the president when she was removed from the parliament. Amada Tata Supreme Court. So by the parliament, and this is a parliamentary issue. Our main case followed, and then I went to the courts. After that was my first court proceedings. Me and to pick it up. So I pick up that case, and Nasafe, I was reporting in Babatik for people to understand application on file that we are the arguments of the different legal loyal PJ. So people then build interest, and then they go make is well appreciated, and yeah, Joko Kukendoleng, and they start encouraging me to keep it up. So Kabinga Joko Parliament now they develop their own stream studio. Now they stream their own proceedings, more basic and so on. Then my effort has been achieved here. But then now just to put the parliament at the doorstep. And if National Assembly deem it necessary now that they can stream live, then I can go to another domain. It's been left behind. And this deals with people's fundamental rights. Lifetime investment. So you cannot be ignorant of the law. It's not an excuse. So then let me take it upon myself. So when I continue to parliamentary reporting, Molia appreciate Lafo continue the back. It's also improved my followership. Every day there are 2 or 5 people that will follow my page. Then people appreciate what I'm doing. So one could say that it was never my intention actually to be a citizen journalist, but this came out of necessity. It came out of demand that I was doing, and people appreciated. And based on the appreciation of the people in Combatuma continue, appreciate people upload you, then you should be somebody you continue doing that. So what I get for sign that happened was finally I have joined the Gambia Press Union as a member, as a journalist, because I feel like so many people told me that you are doing a wonderful job, and I think that you should join the union in case of sometimes they will defend you when situations come. But if you are not under any umbrella and you are working in the same department like the journalist, then it will be very difficult when situations arise for them to come and stand in solidarity with you. So I feel like I should be under the umbrella of GPU. Then I finally register as a member of GPU also, and I have other media houses will. They give me contract, they assigned to report for them because they don't have reporters on the ground. And out of that, some journalists, they feel like what I have gathered, they can learn from my knowledge. They attach themselves to me. Some media houses will even send their reporters to Kexx, and I open my doors for them. And I can say that with my chest, at least I have trained 3 or 4 people. They pass through me in the court reporting, and I'm not beating my chest. I didn't know all, but actually, thank God in and I think in the person will be them up to now. I'm still doing that. When my passion is to actually study law, and not even to be a lawyer, but to have that legal background, and that's the whole objective.
Oh, Kexx. In a context on your that would have been whether do you have any passion to study law? But I think we will delve more into that. But Jenny Wolfer, first thing, effort when I interacted with Dhaka News School, Nusrat High, and tell me Al-Nako, we have a big passion, or God has given us the voice at some level. You guys were some of the people me Al-Nako we look up to. Myself, and then I spoke to Mankajan too. He said Kexx is somebody that I have high regard for. Not only that, but a lot of Gambians, they have high regard for you, regardless of your political affiliation with anybody. You hardly see people come out to actually say something about you at some level. But let's get into the program deeper. I mean, do you really want to study law? Because the way you report, I was talking with somebody last week. One of my colleagues is a diplomat. When Kexx is reporting on court cases, a camera ko Ibrahim Jedela from the report. So he have this feeling that you really need to study law to be able to be even anyone serve as a barrister, as a lawyer, but at least you'll be legally informed, and then you can be able to stand in your advocacy and stand for the people, or continue standing for the people. Do you have passion for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Como me reporting on court every day, because some film and you are doing it out of passion. I cut out for up to a level that you develop love for that field. And now I have actually have the love that for ajata le prum pana lua kara because banko kara nyame sa for famo be lua silole and lua yemen for like ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And bepare I have friends of lawyers, mele alonko elderly people that encourage me. I have judges even mele alonko they approach me ka even magistrate ka and then I think you will do better when you study law because there are so many things you understand. Sometimes when you report, sometimes there are certain terms we reference it, but you explain it in detail. So that shows that you have an understanding. So Nigera Modimia story will actually help you. And I think with that advice, I'm definitely willing to actually start something very soon. By March, I think I will be start enrolling, to start something at the university.
Incredible, incredible. So we will just get into the program now. Because even more than me, not only in the Gambia, even diaspora, a lot of people in diaspora really admire the work you do. That is why when certain individual wanted to question about Iko Kodol Nige, the Dol BJ, because for the feeling like, because they're more million, you have to come and speak for that
Yeah.
individual, not because of Yalone, but the kind of work he has been doing. So Kexx, na do be program on your mbastalla dami wala mo ila do ko nyinti na jigi sign thing ya mata ni samba kolle but before that your contract will sign no in company do pour ka jako ya PR job ke wala advertisement or what not but nyar do mani na je ni da contract ko ni na da bonyo koma do mani for mo leje in few minutes before we move to another level.
Yeah, apart about the ko yalo nyame I have a platform and I think I lose mandomandi move follow Jamal Sorola and business people want visibility. I am more the man of the business or the person want visibility. So before even tell there are so many companies that I have dealt with professional level where they will use my platform to promote their business or their companies or their engagement. Likewise, I will also charge them based on, we will have a contract and I will charge them based on, the service that I will render to them for them to use my platform. So that will also help me to go and bring the news that make people to be glued to my platform because of Kibarul Namen, because why people are coming to my platform, because newsletter that we to read it. So I have been doing it for so many companies. So when Albert Post came here or Alport Banjul came here, through their communication officer, reach out to me. And we are looking at people in Melango, they have platform and also they are kind of influence in the society so that we partner with them to at least give visibility to our company because we are newly coming here and it has been a competition before we will win this tendering and other things until we are awarded the contract. So we also want to show the Gambian people because there were so many misinformation about the company, the history of the company and other things. So, but also we want to show them that we are here to do business and we are here to work and transform your port into a modern port. So, that means that we need every day, every step that we are taking to develop and upgrade the port must be visible to the Gambian population. So they said they want to enter with a contract with me, with other media houses. I said, that's fine with me. We can sit down and discuss. And I proposed to them that now you are approaching me, draft contract. If you draft it, and I will look at it and I also adjust whatever I want or what I disagree. If I agree with everything, then entirely I will say that I agree with everything. So they suggested that let me draft the contract and I send it to them. If they have any disagreement, they will raise the issue before we come into the signing of the document. I said, that's fine with me too. So I draft what I think will best suit me and also will suit the interest of the company. So I drafted it Sanneh. After reviewing it, the initial stage, the initial price was 250,000 per annum. We discussed about it. They are a new company coming here and they want to partner with so many media houses. And I feel like, okay, I should give opportunity to other media houses. So we bid down until we agree on 150,000 per annum. So everything, if you look at the clauses of the document, is very clear that you will use Kexx platform to promote your business, and Kexx is obliged to make sure that any activities of Albert Ports, I will be there, and I will also make sure that I put it on my platforms, all the various platforms that I have. And I have done that tremendously. Every activity, sometimes I'll be traveling to Birikama to go for a weekend. They will receive a vessel and the emergency, they will just call me, Kexx, we just received a vessel. I have to turn my car and come back and make sure that because that's the contract agreement that we have. Anytime they have a vessel, I should be there. Anytime they have anything that has to go to the media, I'll be there. So sometimes even on Sundays, these people will receive a board. I could remember my page, you will see so many things that are posted about Alport that are all under the media. And they happen over the weekend when I should be relaxing. But because of we have a contract and nyanda ko contract on respect le nyanda ka bu nyale I adhere to that. So where will I and I have never violated any of those things. Yeah, then the contract can be terminated by both parties, but there will be a notice of 3 months to 6 months. May you notify the other party and then go. By next 3 months' time, I will terminate your contract because A and B and all parties are at liberty to terminate the contract at their own discretion, but there must be a notification. And also, what binds you together, there must be a violation of those things before you will terminate the contract. So, and I have not violated any of those agreements that we have. If you look at the document, it's a very bulky document, but it tells you what is my responsibility and what is their responsibility. But there is nothing absolutely there that stated that Kexx cannot exercise his constitutional rights or his citizens' right, may along to participate in petitioning the government or even doing that, because whoever knows Kexx, you know that Kexx is also a very concerned citizen who always want to hold government accountable. Kexx has ever been to so many protests in this country. So that has ever been my constitutional right to freedom of association, freedom of the demonstration and all those things. So, and there's no clause in our agreement that stated that I cannot participate in such activities. So then I just sat down because I exercised my constitutional right, whereby I went and joined the young Gambians that are so concerned about this country, that gala, and they wanted to protest about some mismanagement of public funds, that they want clarity from the government. So until that I protest, I took part in that protest. So when that happens, they first draw my attention. Kexx, we receive complaint from officials that, we are partnering with you and you are engaging in this thing. I told them that my contract with you is very clear, and before your communication officer will contact me, she knows me personally, and she knows the activities that I do. So this has ever been my passion, and I will never surrender my citizenship because of I sign a contract with any company. So, and I made that clear, very clear to them. So the second protest that we held, I was there, and their managing director, sent me a screenshot of me with the crowds at Westfield when we are protesting. She sent me a picture of those one. He said, "Is this you?" I go, "Definitely, this is me." Now, what we earlier discussed about this issue, that your contract, we earlier discussed about this issue that you cannot participate. I said, we have never discussed that. You raised the concern of government official, quote unquote, as you said. And when you told me that, I told you that that is not part of our contract. I have been doing this prior to signing contract with you, and I will never stop this because this is my citizen's right, guaranteed by the Constitution. The next minute I said, then by notice of this message, by this notice, it is here that your contract has been terminated with us effect from today. So I was like, wow. And I look at my contract close, and I know that these people has violated. But somebody that you have a working relationship, I walk to their office to explain to them that the manner the way they have terminated my contract is lawful, it doesn't go with the law, and also there is nothing actually there that violated. So I advised myself, I said, we have a working relationship, and out of many Gambians here, they trusted to work with me. So let me maintain that relationship. So I said, let me write to them officially for them to rescind their decision. And I wrote to them through my legal representation to say that, he's acting on my behalf, to say that my contract is terminated, and the manner it is terminated, based on those things. I think Inyandaka make sure that we continue with the contract. At the end of the 1 year, if they want, let them not renew it, so that nobody will have a problem, because they have the right to renew and not to renew. Exactly. So, and they didn't adhere to that, thinking that, okay, maybe Kexx is another type of people that that you can just stamp on his right and just go away. So I waited for some time, and I write another letter to tell them that the next minute I'm going to take a legal action. So when I did that, they invited their lawyer to engage me, and we sat down with their legal representation to say that, okay, they don't want us to go to court, but they are ready to negotiate with me. And I put my offer on the table. They put their offer. I said, that's too small. I cannot accept that, because I know how much, it will take me. And, I have lost so many contacts, because I don't want also to make my page, everything is advertisement. So at the end of the day, the appetite that people follow your page, they will lose it. If you want to do every day, you post another company, then the appetite of people reading the news will be. So I minimize my 1 year contract to only 6 companies or 4 companies minimum. I don't go beyond that. Even others company will offer me to the one partner, but I don't want my page also to lose the focus why the page was actually created. It was created to give Gambian people a news. But if I have to 10 companies, 17 companies, then that means every day I have to post those people, their engagement. So at the end of the day, the purpose of the page would be defeated. So I minimize it. So even after when I signed contract with them, because they were the 6th company that I signed that year, because by then I was working with Jawel, I was working with Supersonic, I was working with GT Board, I was with Guide Global, and the Alport make it the 6th one. So I said I will minimize it here so that at least I can continue also reporting on my news, so everything will not just about news. So when other companies came in, I have to tell them, no, already I have exhausted the number of people that I wanted. So because of their contract with me, I could not take another contract. So if you have to terminate that, that means that I have lost that contract, I've lost another contract because of I have a partnership with them. And almost 2 companies approached me. So I said, so if you calculate all those things and you look at the resource and the energy that I put into you people, no, I cannot take it. So we could not agree on how much they will pay. But we had that discussion and they said they will get back to me. That was the end of the story. And for me, that was not my intention to go to the court. And I gave them almost 3 months. I was not talking, waiting for them since they said they would get back to me. 3 months was elapsed. I didn't hear anything. And I met their legal representative. I reminded her that this is what we said, but up to today I didn't get to. And I said, okay, I have other engagements to do. You have to allow me another 3 weeks or 1 month. I will settle down. I said, these people are not serious. So I decided to go to court because I feel like my right is violated. But I didn't just do this just because of it's the monetary gain that I want there. I do this because I wanted to stop that taboo or that trajectory that the government people or the authorities have taken, that citizens cannot exercise their constitutional right because of, or they cannot question government because they are civil servants or they are in a private entity or a public entity. Sometimes you see that people are victimized because of their exercising their constitutional right. So somebody must take a bold step to make sure it has to be somebody, then I have to do that so that people know that they have the right to exercise their constitutional right without anybody actually questioning them. And right to freedom of association, right to freedom of protest, right to freedom of assembly, these are all enshrined in the chapter in our constitution. So then nobody should deprive you from those rights. So that was the whole objective, to set a precedent that actually nobody should be victimized for exercising your constitutional right.
Exactly. This has been my position. Nina Montella position on the cabinet onset. You do not have to win a court case. Just in an event that your feel Koila right has been violated, take the matter to the court. And then the court will make a judgment about it. And from there, the perpetrators or those who continue violating the people's right because of they feel that they have a so-called power. At the end of the day, when they have been dragged to court, ibajala ko obey the same in Talala Bakla, and the public attention also will be given to a particular thing. And then we're really going to commend you for that. It's not about what really has happened between you and them, but what we want to actually, set here. When I'm 11 trajectory means said that thing to be a precedent. When you felt that you have been exploited, when you felt that you have been treated unfairly by your boss, we have seen a lot of companies, a lot of people are complaining about their companies, about their employers. You look at other institutions, they will tell you that they don't pay us, they don't pay our social security, they don't do A, B, C, and D. Ni okusiva keta, ni Kexx approach about is going to advise you what for you to take a legal representative because ko kela justice needs sort of no ilafta nyaming at all indication. And we really commend you for that, for taking the bold step to make a lead, and then from there, justice will serve, within a given time. Kabiko ye text the WhatsApp le ko your contract is hereby terminated. It was so funny to me though, honestly. It was funny to me because that's insane. You cannot sign a contract with somebody. You go text message like yeah, your contract is hereby terminated. That shows how arrogant some of our employers could be when it comes to dealing with their employees, a lack of respect that they have for people that are working under them. It's not happening anywhere in the world. Moving forward, Kexx. Sign left and do case or do kono Gambia banko kan high profile case o mi an ko bida kan sign den pour ya banko di won Allah ni case ni aba tembe da jamal to sign den but janim bari sen case o mala case o do bi mi an ko sanni fula sanni saba abida kan sign den to mo min na kumba sinyan ya to min non ko ala kambano ni atala sababu da sa ni na but a case ni for too long mantra jakan ila wolo nyindo. Can you tell us jamana min kumba sinyandi ya to min monal anu sande din ala kido ni matembe da jama.
Okay, thank you. Ko ya kala mudo nyamentu sanji fula fo sanji saba komanto. Kibaro findira kaya la ko funding ke wala fure otara Friendship Hotel me alon ko le be baka osate kon. Andu ina dam police na de bulo chodi men na kaya ndani ko atala mutumi mode me alon ka atala bulo be nyasa kono ina da fata kumba sinyal. Kabo kede ya findini no magistrate court or no barbari magistrate court on la lualdo. Kidio me alon ko ala busarumu life sentence le wala ba mari fala. Okake modi me alon ko del bugala ba nata sound the high court kabia sa justice me ko asan bijallo na da kidio muda kadi ay ka ko musu me fane ko nga sidike jo ma justice sidike jo ba ena da kidio di wala pour ka kidio nyin tambin we kidio nyin damu dalen safo no masa kundala karola wala yela diamo be banda ngame sede tan saba tan saba e wala commandina ela non ko ena de testify ta je fo konondo fo tan saba wadam no ko so bari yela sedol be commandile e be na de be diam da fo pare ta ena da fo kumba signane pour de fana sala defensiel bari in at the initial stage ka be charge on rida e atama sonno so ni balanda wala you go in the full trial so full trial ni me anon ko ba kono kumba signana daga mo me anon ko kabini le la case be soro yela evidence ol be landi yela sede jarol be command yela sedol fanal command na daga mo me anon ko man sakunda la side lay ko tel yela case e ya soro ne ko kumba signane bra dum box o kono a fanti fen a kumba signana follow la ni dana daga mo me anon ko ala lo na da application dundi kan dala ko dal manke mo me anon ko asilon o trial la because of among anita psychological support na American Sondo model Akamunda science he's not fit to stand for her defense. Examination ol kada wala Dr. La Carola wol nata jibe ko a jato be kendara na sondo mo be kendara ne fana si lono le kala a case in defense yela nata defense start ka ele atada fo sabo ala testimony almost at the tail end sabo abe world winning a vacation onata e ka fo mena kiti bon kada kana fo ndirola a kares earning sango mina banna e ka karisa bakeje ka dari ka be June for around October nyol ma fa e ka li for so li fo lana dake ka fendi me alon ko ba keda bar wayata dum sidi jobata te fana kono kuliyata no kono bala so na maternity leave fana diatel to ko be o diatel te fana sa kari wora yalla mo ka pendal la maternity leave te jam mele alon ko mol ka so atelo kono na da kidio je ngaje ko ya bondi ate bulo kono ya saundi kidio ni na da nsa fala lo application ko ka na ko kidio ke fendi nan ko kidio be bola sidi ke jobata bula bita so another application kabe okay another grant give justice nada ka sound ka samba ko ka bul me alon ko be baka wala high court so normally na loi bu ko kono nyina fo nen kidi mu data saunda me alon ko atele mu tumi mo data la mo application o keno ka ko kidi nyi dati kuke fresh ka fo mena ko a fresh start because adunda mo ko ta dole bula ko ta do bulu je so ka andane ko asi application o keno le loi la karola me alon ko sa andane kidi nyi ngasi dati no kuke so kabate o ke man sakundala mul na ta yantande ko tel man so wala tel balanta wala because science and for sede jarol e mel ko man dol be jawol tenyum banko kan ko de be pare sede jarol men so fo bulu be lano lol kan ko de bari kidio tata lan for the interest of justice be ko le abala pour yen kidio mu de atati kuke so kamala tel fana na de la fonko sa application o sa fe agency the decision pour yen le case ni try afresh kabiyo ke kiti te la mi an ka be kiti to ko ka nya tana da kiti te ko ni mo fenne de mi an ko nyanda ka bayde luway wala fa ko na sa unta mo ko to bulu nyanda ka fenne de mi an ko kiti nyanda ka dati le fresh tana do application ni mutaka grant so man sa kundala mo man na so wala tel fana le appeal do di ade supreme court wala kiti mo be la kiti ko nyanda ko to ko anda ne ko o decision menta pour ka so kiti fawni tafo e ka ko mena ko kiti o ko wolo ta le science and de fanya appeal ni iyada so sans ante da be woldo abe appeal court of appeal le kaya ndane ko yo appeal on decide ka fo ko men kidio be sauna fresh apro yo man sakunda wala challenge so wala be ke kan sans so ka monda kidio fon ko ni wolo da le faro ni na tumiro wolo da bal fo sai ko kidio ni abe start la fresh pa de start la fresh wala be diamo kan sans ante so decision o man ta o follow ke so wala nam fama da ka substances case ni alkaje na wolo kon bale be men diam ga mo report le ka be court of appeal de sans nol ba jibe kana fo lunga be solo so bay ni decision o keda wodo already because was is a court of record mo be ka sa fele rek ya samba ya dundi so amanke ko e full trial me ko mo si do en se dondi so wala na mantra fo lo kam bot ni any outcome bot na wodo o kalon fo fana li high court la decision o ni wala maintain ba fo dum hani ko case ni ay continue adanta damendo bo report la na message la ko sabe mo do nam ba to normal trial del fanal bo continue la kana so wala na dalal famata ko kiti ni mo
yeah abraka bage Kexx ka wasnata bage so namin fam nunje kabintu momin jojo nyin ata matana live ni you know ala lawyer ni tunkunta kidio ni na sembo do to gaje ka kidio ni ka sekan ko jibe odi amu basi ala yeah let's move to another case today Kexx wala mo usunu bojana case usunu bojana case mo case that me I know right now is I think is the highest high profile case me I know ka bango ka sandende ya 2 minutes ko police for la bundo wa telebije and then sedul natanang sidi jamala bol kono tiba muso min boda na UK katandi ko atani Hussein from Bakaja Kane wolu of Kabilumina ko nyinkede and whatnot. Talk us through about Hussein la case ning, yeah, summarize more of an
Ha, ko ya fo nyamere kabelari wala nyama Usain Bojang fana the same thing September karo kono 2013 2023 sorry nga moy ko bundiro kata sukura jaban traffic light Gambia be niyo ku ya dan sa ko be we are all speaking in one language kabelu men o kibaro fendi because na jenna funding ko ela ko ye wura pour padu ko ke banko e wala bum kido la mela lon ko ye fa we banko be niyo ku ya aban be auto telefula wala telekele na da kibaro moy ko dege eko meya ke amari be du kola bil kama area council le kumol foraje den politiko na da bula ko nyin kono sai ka bo kada je dal mo na da wajan vi usoro wala na da bijeti de fulati sabana da moy ko mo muta me alon ka kasa ma se ka fa usino boja e ka de bulo ko kono ko ta ba nyum faro ka da kasa mas ina da nan Gambia jan jono le so do le kisiro ke man ka janyol sipal ko dara fo je wol fa bula da arrest lol kono war ka be mara na da kiti bo don tel si wala fono bare wo entel taraje for the kidi bongi ya wannan before become magistrate ko e kan be magistrate court le force ya arrange woldo par ko loi ya fo nyame rek ni kidi sifal ni kidi budu ngalam ko jibeno ina da fa wona kidi ni saudi ka samba high court ka be samba high court or chief justice by the ni kidi for the high court ka samba registra ya samba chief justice ya o ina jojo tomba be dunna men bole na da di justice chaita le ibrahima chaite ona da kidi o nyinta kito nyen kabalo mutata sedol findi la jema sakunda ila sedol nana fo mendara fo 13 witness ela ko testify da so jar sababu wol kono mama jabe nyol bo kono le fokata masemati yo me asamba jululun safety garage ti wol nyin taxi driver ti yo me abondi kombo jam so wol be kada mo de mela ko be na testify ji ka la sede jarol fo mel lon kiti mo nyin kon ay tel yo be kada fo pare da ka be pare da council me lon ko telefona matela usenu la lawyer de ka ko la men jeda ko fanana da usenu la case yele Usiano fana ay sedol kumandi ade fana testify da jako da jeko kay tuba muso kumanda ko to mañul kumandi mela ko be na de testify da je ate fana la poso no nyenna na raja fana ko samatol mela ko sede jarol men ko masakunda wala dundi la kidiol kono dol dunda kidi bon kono pour ka test fa be kala usiano la samato te fata kala iman na ko ngala je wol be kala fendi mela ko kala je o boda je fana ka be usiano yala defense clause me fenke nata na ma akubare muso ka ko me ami o fana na wala defense yele ata kara loan defense witness dam ma data man sede command ada dam mala kada fan sun sede do ya tele tumi ka tele usenu ma ko ka fende nyim banko ka so kiti o be laare wala nyama nyin tembe la do sa ka mun da ko tel be la sede jarol fende ne la sede do fana fende ne kiti bo nyaati lo sa en men do je wala nyinte ko mo wala argument no ka anda ne kiti bo la ka convince munanna ay tel nyanta ke tel la vason wala ta wala nyanta ka nyim fason dole ka so momo be wala kele ka ko mena file no briefs wala nyante ko mobe be kiti bu address la ka anda dila ko monana usenu manya na ka soro wala monana usenu nyanta ka soro from the side of the state so sa ko be laari wala nyanin ka anda ni ko dele ela case proof le andu nyina mula ko te ka court convince that ware nyanta ka wala so bo state le sa ko dia dila for January on the 16th me alan ko nyanta ko ka do ni wol be do from pareta jojo mina lo muta lo mina be kiti hotela kalong jumale bolo ta wala jumale mambolo so mboda stage attending at this material time but it's a high profile case me is most talk about not only about the person who is accused but also about the police officers that are involved the man and the way Fara Nyame is something that me ko banko be soon and I think that ko momo be diam kanje they want justice for our police officers me ko Fara wala na mogo jamale ay ko yesula kada public debate and they are looking for justice ka anda nila ko nyeke fendi mi alon ko tonya be finti la ke
yeah Kexx ni bitanya do nding lafte ye ko dan dam boni nyamo ko la ani ada jibe sede jarol ko fendi mi ana ko ye finni kidi bo nyato isa sede jarol dul fo nyeno sama tolom fo ke ye fe sabita kido do la jela ba mi alna ko ya tombo wala footage mi alna ko footage sort of de jela wala camera video sort of de jela ba is there any how would I even say it? Evidences minal no ko deni sede jaro do mi ana ko attend o fandani for so that kidio nyko
kido me alon ko wole bundiro ke allegedly aw kido findi dana kidi bunya to me alon ko ballistic expert me alon ko soldier wala made wona da ko ya diatel la to do the analysis of the gun ballistic examination of akaba wona da na we tell before the court through the officer post motif la wala nyinde ko ni mol men fanal fara docteur men ke kisi ke jibe ay sa ya kala nya mine fa o fana la report o findi dana me alon ko ka fa ko la post-mortem report on wo fana nata kiti bonya no memo sede jarol sama dole findi da kiti bonya dole me ala ko usili wala dum alum mena anyum bundiro be kere jegatol nata na kiti bonya la ko jegatol mem babala wol be kada fendi mela ko be kada sede jarol mena ko findi na kiti bonya tele wala netalol fana findi na mena ko di crime kada dam to location men yol netal le bon man men so wala CCTV footage di men sa fono ko this is the person wo man ke fendi mena ko findi da kiti bonya tele wala ko ngani sedol mem fo sede jarol men fo be finde da kiti bon ngati no wala men kamunta sama wala kiti wala post mo tete ko so awol mo fenn di men ko jeketo wala finde da kiti bon ngati no
demanding kido ni ala jibe jama ni ba examine na e ka finger da kata kido ni bala ka je jama bulo ni ba fo e fingerprinting ni kala when it comes to kido ni na ko ni
no e ko mo ke because ko kido ni kabiya e ba tala kido exposed was very exposed to the sun according to the justification and also tilo made a boy ka kan so dan min dar ko fingerprint o min kata bala kamunda ko wipe away jail so they could not actually analyze to ascertain a fingerprint on the gun. That was what they said during the testimony of the person who Mianuka attended. So, you know, for Kidi number one, it was exposed to the sun, and number two, dual fanal bonda, and so that means that could have wiped away the fingerprint that they should have rely on to exactly know which finger was actually Mianuka in Kidoma.
Yeah, comment demanding Mazakunda press conference on wala press release. Me ana ka bada nin tumir monin na kabriya mota ko killing telephone ko. Ntalafta yala general advice la ko la. Jama Mazakunda ni sobita ko dole ka findi na ka hawje ka findi na ka kibarol findi ata do email intelligence being put together. I would put it that way. Ko alaji baro ka fanyami if you blow your cover, you're not going to gather anything. And I recently found I didn't know me fa fenko nyindo biro nyindo. General ya suspect killing ni mudala ya ifinita na kata ndi mola ko suspect ni mudala now the principal suspect ibola no kan fema mira jama ning okusi valke da bango kan masakunda nyen yemuna so deba min fa when it comes to blowing your own trumpet before gathering everything intact. What do you have to say? Because najara ko kabrin masakunda la mol finita jamda usen na kola and kabrin kidio tara fanyara demande ya jako ye min fo ani min bakere ama sabati la min jeda bay request ki pour gaje ko kuma de kana ya testify wala testimony nyum fanya muna na ya Ibrahima Silla kuma nan kidi bo dani avocat jeng pour kana ka testify.
Yeah, ko ya fo nyame rek because kabin ko kada di amulal siada Ibrahima G sanga ni be wonde kono melalan ko di am de daro West Coast security advisor Mr. Jem fana kada mo menon ko di amuda je deputy inspector general of police fana kada mo menon ko di amda je. So council jeda ba ko the testimony is very very important contrary to what is the evidence before the court. So I recall na and he superior file a superior approval sinana and akidi bondo they tell the courts what they know about this case. So I audio will be download their interview. So he was confronting them with their interview with the evidence that was before the court. So that's so far. But the weight or the determination of that by the kid whether it has a weight or not, because no matter you don't go into the substance to decide it. But in Safono, the purpose of them calling them is to make sure that we come on them for during press conference or and the radio talk shows to actually clear some of the doubts there. So that was the question of based on. But it's important because at the end of the day, police are not the courts. Police are just investigators. And once you know where your boundary stops, it will help you to do your job. But neither that evidence will be before the public, before you go to the court. Sometimes I could call it back. And so you are there to just investigate. And no public pressure should actually make you to deviate from what is your responsibility to go into another domain. So the police task is to investigate and have their facts and present their facts before the court. It's the court to determine. But since I needed that case boy that I determine press release you start talking about how television. The law is saying that person is an assume is an alleged or is accused person. Is accused until proven by a competent court of jurisdiction. So no whatever evidence that you have, you should not give any facts about the case. You should not tell people that even if you have those facts. what you can do is just to say that, there's a suspect member in Bulokono, and that's where we can stop, and we take it to the court with our evidence. Stop there. Don't go into the details of the case if you want to update the public so that you assess the tension in the public to overnight calm. But if you start to give your evidence in the public space, that means the government public prosecution, you prosecute the person before the public and sentence the person before the public before even taking the person to court. So sometimes it has the dangers there. So Majako Jeda will rely on those public announcements to bring these people back to the courts. And sometimes, their statements were contradicting to what they have said in the radio and also what they have said in the court. So it's always dangerous. And the police should know that they have a boundary and they are just to investigate and have their facts and present the facts to the court, since they are not the ones who will adjudicate the cases. So they should also know that there's a boundary where they should stop, and if they know that boundary, they will have your facts and take it to the court, and the court will decide.
Thank you. Because sometimes it's so weird though. Ibadah la jama police long wala masakuna diamala kote modoli ka koronto back pour ka ko dol findi ani atara am jerika diamu ko dol because ni okay at the end of the day ita man mara ni present before the court aka ke fenna di mi ko aka kiskisiro nya sa ko ni no back one time and again ni na police je iba kiskisiro ko na kilim fara di potna tip ya jere Facebook page ko ñi na ket atra dum ima fu da they don't reach at the bottom of the show ni okay aka kiskisiro nya ka man ni dum back ndama ñani la
example of Mandina Rena case. If you look at that, the police earlier statement, you compare now the facts that are before the courts, even the people they participate or they eyewitness the process. What they are giving is contrary to the statement that the police give, because you want to rush and just give. That's why it's very dangerous to give evidence when a matter is on the police. Your role is just to investigate. But when you start going into giving evidence, then you now take the position of the court where you should present those evidence. So it's always dangerous, and it do backlash sometimes, or it backfire. And it contradicts you. Then it now reduce the trust of the public between the public and the security apparatus. And once there is no trust between the security and the citizens, then it becomes a problem. Because then now what you will end up having is a jungle where people will say that, okay, I don't trust this officer, so I'll just put the law in my own hands. Then you end up having a jungle. So that's why that trust should be between police officers and the Gambian population.
Thank you so much, Kexx. This has been my concern. I already put it to the PRO at some level. Katandala ko nalbala kiskisiro al kulbun duma, but ndamala funka marela. Jamala funka marela PR job at some level, Yes, moving forward, Kexx. I'm bitana dami. Ola mi alno ka dending because time went to the amasia bagay. After nakacha gala last time alia position people in seven. Kobo demanding government al commandi. Pura niya kacha kula mi ala ka dending ala petition o minke pour ka ko GFF petition alia corruption dol minke da minister dol 2 million pour ka ko ye la palaso ni ye bondi je tari sa kiski sur IGP sa kiski sur ken watari because ya ko interior minister atal IGP la boss mo interior minister so IGP at interior kiski la no ni atara office ni maraka but masakunda ni manna interest ni show mada ni to at all indication. Take us through about some of your points. I mean, when I say your point, I mean Gala. Let me put forward our last press conference window and then signed in Kolomuta.
Yeah, we petition almost 5 institutions, feel that they need clarity in terms of how the resources of the state or in the manner and the way they govern some of those institutions. So it was necessary as citizens who are the owner of the countries to look at those issues and question the government. So Kabingos Ngoleke and Mansakunda then came with a press conference to respond to some of our issues. They invited us, and out of respect that we just want clarity, we went and listened to them. So, but after analyzing everything, we find out that the information on the land, what is happening are totally different. So we pursue again, we came with the response that was our last press conference, and then the facts about all those institutions. We found out that what they give us and what was there, the realities on the ground are totally different. So when we found out that, until finally we made our position very clear to them, the issues that we addressed are not correct, but okay, now we cannot just stop there. We have used that level. So we went to the level of the National Assembly, where we have the Public Petition Committee, to petition some of this institution about clarity about some of them, because we believe that those are the representative of the people. So we have done that, and out of the three that we have filed, only one was accepted that has met the standing orders of the National Assembly in terms of what should be considered. Because what they told us that first, before we go to the National Assembly, there are steps that we should have taken first. That is, been forced to engage the relevant authorities to write to them officially that these are the informations we want. And if they fail to do that, then we can go to the National Assembly. So, and they didn't see anything in our records that shows that we have engaged them earlier before coming to the Public Petition Committee. So we did that. I was part of the people that Gala selected to actually submit the letters. I went to the Ministry of Justice to submit a letter regarding about the Gambia Port Authorities, the $300 million that was leaked there and still not answered. And I also went to find out what happens in terms of the lands that are located to so many people in this country, what were the policies, what were the methodologies that we are using in terms of how do they give those lands, and what were the processes. We want to know every land that is given to anybody in this country, how the person acquired the land, what were the procedures taken, because we believe that every citizen has a right to a land. And if you can select few individuals that can afford it, when the drafters of the law, their intention is very clear that poor earners that who cannot afford to have a land, so that you give them, accommodation, because it's a fundamental right for people to have shelter. Shelter is a fundamental right. So these are some of the issues Sunamel raised, and the National Assembly has accepted the other one that is looking at all the audit reports that deal with the COVID-19 fund and certain things. They have accepted that, and they will look into that. And they have called us for a meeting. We have our first meeting, and they have adjourned for a main session. And now they will go into a break, and we will maybe continue to have session with them to know clarity about some of the audit reports that we raised. And also, we will follow up the minister maybe after the New Year's, or we will send another reminder, because up to today, when we submitted the letters, nobody responded to us. We didn't hear anything from them. So we'll follow up those things. But Gala also wants to have a nationwide tour that they will have a citizens engagement, where we will talk with the citizens to understand that this movement is a national movement. It's not just few individuals that are in the combos. We want to take Gala to the grassroots, to the Gambian population, to know that this is their own baby. We are just there to start something. But at the end of the day, we want it to be a continuity whereby they will be holding government accountable if they fail to do their responsibility. So we are starting a nationwide tour by New Year's. By January, we'll be moving all the 7 regions or 8 regions in this country to talk to the Gambian people to know that Gala is here to make sure that there's no corruption, that people are held accountable for embezzlement of public funds. So this is what we intend to do, and we'll continue to do so. That's where we are. But we are working with the National Assembly and also following up with the government officially. And if the needful is not done, if it was us going back to the street, we'll definitely go back to the street. But although the government tried to sit down with us to engage us, but we told them that we cannot have negotiation with you when you are prosecuting us at the court. So you either drop all the charges against our people, then we start negotiation. But you cannot be prosecuting our people and you want us to sit in a dinner table and say we are discussing about dialogue when our people are incarcerated, some are even built, they cannot leave this country. We cannot actually accept what they are criminally charged. We cannot accept that. So we could not agree on terms, and we didn't buy into their dialogue. But anytime if they are ready, at the end of the day, we want the right thing to be done, we'll be willing to actually have an engagement with them. But that will not stop Gala from going to the street. If it was for us to go to the street, we will definitely go to the street, because that's our office.
Exactly. I mean, Kexx, most of the time, strict akumara ka fendi silo kan pour ka de kira baramba itandi. But falma jike fana ko do mi an ko alba pasu kan sandending. Nale legal means of follow. Aba kala fendi mi an ko it could be a public attention, a public case. Ibaja ko mol saja ko I mean gala ye masakunda samba kiti wala mi an ka badending. Na flow la kasaro min keda ni fana ni gala ye GFF samba kiti wala because ya jako GFF lo nata an bi ma jono wala min ko dinga ngam la mo de appeser pasa fonin almantro ko ni consider ka pour ka jako nale substantial evidence against all the things mi anda ko ale man kunda se fa wala pour ka mada ni ka samba before the court.
Yeah, so we intend to do that, but in Bajalako, we have a constraint because Gala has an organization, the Ministry of Justice deny us to be registered. And once you are not registered as an entity, you cannot sue and you cannot be sued. Like nobody can sue Gala as an entity. You can sue individuals, or you cannot sue Gala as because we are not legally recognized. So these are some of the constraints. So even if you want to pursue a legal route, it has to be individuals, not in the name of Gala, because we are not legally recognized. So these are some of the constraints that we have. even though we have personal cases that we already start filing at the courts, like why we were denied a permit. We feel that the Inspector General of Police doesn't have any right to deny citizens the right to protest, and we are taking that course, that matter to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Already, I think it has been already filed, because since the day we give our statements to our lawyers has been long time, and he told us that they have already filed those cases. So I'm sure, we will follow up that, and the man and the way Aliuba is manhandled, we want him to take a personal legal sue against the state, even though they can arrest him. But the man and the way was a torture. They didn't just only arrest him, but they torture him by throwing him inside a pickup, and Aliuba will pursue a legal action on his own. I wish, Gala was registered, we would have filed the case as an entity like Gala. But because of we are not legally recognized up to today as an institution, because they said we use the name Gambia, and that is discretion of the registrar of company. Any organization that use Gambia or Gambians should be the discretion of the registrar of company to either approve or disapprove. And based on that, we didn't want to change the name of Gala, because that is the household name in the Gambia. So we have this constraint right now, and we are debating ourselves whether we can, so that we will be legally recognized, so that we can collectively file case in the name of Gala rather than individual filing their case. So this has some of the constraints, that's why. But if not, we will have filed all these matters that we are taking to the National Assembly, or even writing, we will have filed it as an organization. But these are some of the constraints that we have. This is why we could not actually file. But we are looking at other means. Individuals are filing their cases, like Aliuba, for what happens to him, and some of our people who were detained beyond 72 hours requirement of the law. We are putting all these things together to know that rights cannot be violated in this country. Even the ones that are reported in the police, we even spoke to our lawyers. The ones that were arrested with Kemo Boja and the others, up to now they are reporting at the police. And criminal cases should be tried, in a quickest possible terms. That's what it says. So you cannot just send people to be reporting on the police, and there's no end to actually the reporting. So they must either arrange them to court, or they just withdraw the case. So we are looking at any avenue that we can do, whether we're going to file an application before the court to say that the Inspector General of Police must arrange these people to court, or they will stop coming to report. So all these things are avenues that we are looking at as individuals and entities, not on the entities, since we are not legally recognized. But if we update our status and we are legally recognized, we will definitely make sure that anything that we are filing, we're going to file as Gala, not as an individual.
Thank you so much, Kexx. Then, but last question on Yinengara, Ninkumara about the pronoun question on Yinenga. Personally, I'm a legal person, and then the moment me and Noko, Ndakajala Kokavoko, injustice. Take the matter to the court. When you get to the court will make a decision over the particular thing. And a badala, Ningamen will start the court, because Kabri Alubafe Wanyama. One of my brother told me that, look, this guy have to sue the police, you have to sue the IGP. Just sue the IGP. If you don't have a means, get to Gambia Bar Association. Legal representative. There are a lot of lawyers they can do pro bono for you. The JWs and then the LSD, apply parties. They're all there to stand for people at some level. Put Kajako legal. I think you and your colleagues, you should encourage a lot of Gambians in an event that they felt injustice had been happened to you or filtered on them. They should make sure that they seek legal redress with legal means. Put Kajako, Ibako Minkola Saboji, issues Jamala my Gambia. Ibaja la kariko karia sunya la kariko karia rape la kariko karia paraso la jaya ka porka ka bay do ko. All these matters can be redressed at the court of law. Ibaja ka kumala ba ke porka jako my society mi ko na ka defend me anako so we can live in a very nice society. Ibaja ko mo de sembo jala mo do kan ni atara mata nyimbe da kan court. At least even if you don't win the case, but if you take the matter to the court, ibaja ko kumala ba when it comes to rule of law. GFF election of Canada next year. Jama balkena fo ninkelu ninkul manta pule ka wodi bari tal fombe ke tesidi ka dun kul ninko pour kaje ko to be at the center of the issues. Now this GFF election coming, al nyabo lora kanama as an organization pour kaje ko competent individual le ka modi mala ko ale tombo and this haje ko check and balances finance ke lo ko nyinta pour kaje ke crossy ke accountable anyas yu be nyam bari min bi je sande ni wol ke bitala bari wol bitaka ne be da hakan ne na full jama bi jemi anako ya don julu jama be la banko nyinka ibe da haka fo nyi manka la consult na la concern bi what are some of your takes as far as next election is concerned, Gambia Football Federation?
Yeah, Gala has an organization. We are concerned about every sectors of our society. Bankola Sulo and Bankola Nafulo Kadunje, Bankola Kula Manchaka, and we always make sure that we follow up everything that is of national interest. And GFF is not an exclusion into the issues that we are monitoring as an institution or as an civil society. So we are looking at those things. Not only that, but even before those we are steering the affairs of the country, the GFF, they must be held accountable. Before they go, they must be what we call audited by the citizens. We are the last auditors. That's why, every 5 years they come back to us for election. That's why they are coming back to us. But before we will tell them, okay, you have done a satisfactory job, we must hold them accountable. So that's why we have picked up some of the issues. If you look at the last press conference that we had, we went up to a FIFA website. We even have people that were engaging those authorities in our investigation to find out the numbers of monies that were pumped into the development of sports in this country and sport facilities in this country. So we have all those facts, and they must be held accountable. Even worse, for us to sue individuals to court for embezzlement of public funds, we will definitely do that. But there will be no person or any institution that will be spared when it comes to Gala as a movement. We are following so many activities, but some are still pending, some are not are still going on. We are waiting for the due process to finish. Even the issue of the James asset, because of National Assembly has taken it over. That's why we are waiting for their reports to come out. The Commission of Inquiry of the Local Government Act. All these things are issues of local governments. We are looking at all this stuff, the GFFA, the COVID-19 funds, and so many things that are happening in this country. So they will not be spared. We are looking at it also, monitoring to make sure that whoever is going to be elected into any government institution must be competent enough, must be knowledgeable enough. It's not just going to be just you put people there because you want to compensate them because of they have supported you in one way or the other during your elections. And not that this has to be over in our generation. We should make sure that competent people will competent office, public office, so that they will deliver the service that we need. But if you just put people there based on the loyalty that they have given to you, at the end of the day, they will not deliver because they don't have the expertise, they don't have the knowledge to do so. So this is why that has dragged our country for far too long. And without generation, we have taken it upon ourselves that young people must take over their country, take ownership of their country, that nobody should decide for us. We should decide the future of our country. And we cannot just sit down and fold our hands together and allow people just to direct us anyhow they want. That's not why we go to school. That's not why our parents send us to school. They will send us to school to understand our society and hold people accountable and offer solutions of the problems of our country. So this is why we are citizens and we the honor of the country. So we will never sit down and fold our hands where our country is going in a wrong direction. So this has ever been the position of Gala, and this is why Gala emerged. Gala emerged because of necessity, because of demand for the country, where accountability will be order of the day, transparency will be order of the day. This is why Gala came into being. I will continue with that pursue and will hand over the baton to another generations that are coming once we feel like we have satisfied what we have started. So we are just trying to lay the foundation. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a national cause, and everybody must be on board to have a Gambia that all of us can beat our chest and proud of, where our resources will come and benefit us in a form of a service rather than a few individuals amassing the wealth, and they will be wealthier than the country itself.
Thank you so much, Kexx. It has been a pleasure, talking to you. We have been looking forward this session. Nala ko busy ka back, but in content back, inatin be pagkana idang kumulla, pagkana niyang kachasoro. And I believe and hope that we're gonna have more of these discussion as we go. As people with the same mindset, we're really gonna do this together. We're really gonna do this together.
Absolutely.
Last word before Bidara to our viewers and then anybody that is watching us right now.
Yeah, just to tell the Gambian people that this is the country we have, and we are heading to an election. And what is the importance of an election? Everybody should know it. Why every 5 years, the person that you elect must come before you and tell you that you must re-elect me or you must remove me from office. It's a purpose. The drafters of the constitution put it there for a purpose, because the citizens are the last auditors of every government, that you audit them based on their performance. And we should know that we are coming into an election year, and we should be conscious enough, and we should put national interest ahead of us than political interest, to know that our country has failed for almost since independence. We didn't yet still have a direction. Country that have gained independence, that we have gained independence before them, are now running while we are still crawling. We didn't even start on the marks. When are we going to start it? It's all geared towards leadership. So, and we are the people who put them into office, put people into office and become a complainers in our own country, when we are the ones who have the right to put people into office. So at the end of the day, you don't have the opportunity to blame anybody if there's a failure. So that means that we have to point fingers at us. So it's good for us to do the right thing. And if you think that Barrow is still better, let's put him into office. But if you think that Barrow is not better, we have to move him from office. But we should not be blind by partisan politics to put the national interest force in anything that we are doing to write people into office. This will be my appeal to the Gambian people, because we cannot allow our children to inherit the Gambia that we, the young people, have inherited. that would be a failure to every citizen that has witnessed after the change of Jammeh that we allow our children to inherit a Gambia that we have inherited. That would be the biggest failure for every citizen of this country. So for our children to inherit a Gambia that they can be there, yes, I'm proud to be a Gambia, should be the legacy that every Gambian should leave behind. And if you fail to do that, you fail to be a citizen of a Gambia, a Republic of the Gambia.
Thank you so much, Kexx. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.